Welcome to my YouTube channel, Family Drama Files. Please like, share, subscribe for more emotional videos.
Have you ever stayed silent while everyone laughed at you because you already knew the truth would destroy them? That is exactly what happened to me. My sister humiliated me in front of the entire family. She poured wine over my clothes and screamed that I had until sunrise to leave her house. My parents clapped and smiled as if they had been waiting for that moment all their lives. They thought I had nowhere to go and nothing left to fight with. They had no idea the small key in my pocket would change every single one of their lives within the next minute. Stay until the end because the final 60 seconds shocked everyone sitting at that dinner table. My name is Olivia. For years, I believed family meant loyalty. Even when my parents favored my older sister Grace in everything, I stayed quiet. If Grace wanted something, she got it. If I achieved something, it was ignored. I convinced myself that keeping peace was better than creating arguments. When our grandmother passed away, everyone assumed Grace would inherit the family estate. She acted like it already belonged to her. She renovated rooms without permission, invited friends over, and constantly reminded me that I was only a guest. The truth was much more complicated. My grandmother had always been careful with her decisions. She never revealed her final plans to anyone except her lawyer. After the funeral, I was handed a sealed envelope. The lawyer told me not to open it until the right moment. He said my grandmother believed one day I would know exactly when that moment arrived. Months passed. Grace became even more arrogant. She hosted expensive dinner parties inside the house and treated me like unpaid help. My parents defended every insult. They kept telling me that blood meant accepting whatever family did to you. Then came the dinner that changed everything. The dining room was filled with relatives, neighbors, and business friends. Grace stood up holding a glass of red wine. She smiled before pouring every drop over my dress. The room went silent for only a second before laughter spread around the table. She pointed toward the front door and shouted that I had until sunrise to get out of her house. My parents applauded. They said it was finally time for me to stop living off successful people. I slowly wiped the wine from my face. I looked at every person sitting there. Not one defended me. Instead of arguing, I smiled. I reached into my pocket and placed an old brass key on the table. The laughter stopped. Grace looked confused. My father frowned. My mother asked what the key meant. I calmly replied that she had 60 seconds. Everyone stared at me. I opened the envelope my grandmother had given me months earlier. Inside was a certified ownership document proving the house had never belonged to Grace. My grandmother had transferred full ownership to me before her death. The key was the original master key to the property. Grace screamed that the papers had to be fake. Right on cue, the family lawyer entered through the front door. He had been waiting outside after I called him earlier that afternoon. He placed official documents on the table confirming every page was genuine. The lawyer explained that my grandmother had watched the way everyone treated me for years. She believed kindness deserved protection and arrogance deserved consequences. She trusted me because I never demanded anything from her. My parents suddenly changed their tone. They claimed there had been a misunderstanding. Grace started crying and begged me not to embarrass the family. I reminded them that only minutes earlier they had cheered, while I was publicly humiliated. The lawyer informed everyone that, as the legal owner, I had every right to decide who stayed in the house. I picked up the key. I looked directly at Grace and calmly repeated my words. You have 60 seconds. Silence filled the room. No one laughed anymore. Within moments, security officers hired for the event escorted Grace and anyone refusing to leave outside the property. The same front door they had ordered me to use became the door they walked through themselves. For the first time in my life, I was not afraid of disappointing people who had never respected me. The house became peaceful again. Months later, I restored it exactly the way my grandmother loved it. I opened part of it as a community reading center for local children because she believed knowledge should always be shared. People often ask whether I regret asking my own family to leave. I tell them the hardest lesson I ever learned. Family is not defined by who shares your name. Family is defined by who stands beside you when everyone else walks away. That dinner was supposed to destroy my confidence forever. Instead, it exposed every lie my family had built over the years. They believed power came from humiliation. My grandmother knew real power came from integrity, patience, and truth. One small key unlocked far more than a house. It unlocked my freedom. Sometimes, the quietest person in the room is simply waiting for the perfect moment to reveal the truth. Never mistake silence for weakness, because the strongest response is often the one nobody sees coming. Please like and subscribe.